Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and look at this weather. Is it just not glorious? And I am off to do the cardinal sin of ride out with some Harley boys. Hell yeah! And I thought, whilst I'm doing that, we'll do some more Q&As. So, let's begin.
It's never too late to change your life. The story's not over, the ending is mine. Whatever it takes to see you smile.
So welcome to another of your favourite truth videos, this time with a little bit of a different view. And I think these are going to be more fun, guys. I want to make this channel reach further. I want to make it more lifestyle. I want to make it more entertaining. I want to show you that there's more to life than, you know, picking up some weights and watching me pick up some weights. And obviously there's only so long you can sit and chat to a camera. So yeah, why not enjoy the beauty of where I live while still getting all the information you need, and a little bit of a fun point of view for you guys who may be thinking about riding or haven't ridden for a while, and maybe I'll get you guys back into it. So what are we going to cover today? Today we are covering belly fat. Can you lose belly fat? And it's a common one. I mean, it's a worry for most guys and girls, especially guys trying to get abs and girls trying to reduce their waist size or whatever it is that, you know, a problem area. It doesn't have to just be belly fat. It can be, you know, can I lose fat from my hips? Can I lose fat from my chest? Here's the simple and truthful answer. You cannot spot reduce fat. And that means you cannot lose fat from single areas of the body. It's not possible. You lose fat evenly over the entirety of your body as you lose weight, as you lose fat even in general, which in turn means losing weight. And what I want you guys to get from all these videos is, I don't want you to just be like, to listen and go, okay, that's the truth, okay, now I get. I want you to learn. I want you to think about things in the context, so that, I mean, you can figure things out a lot of the times yourself just by thinking of it in realistic terms. I think for some reason, when it comes to the gym and when it becomes to fitness and wow, look at that, and your body, people seem to lose common sense. But let's think about it this way, okay? Say you're a right-handed person. You're right-handed, you're right-footed. You're going to use your right arm, right leg for the majority of things. Now, if you're overweight, or you see overweight people, and they're right or left-handed, do they have a slimmer right side or left side? Of course they don't, because the body is an efficient machine. Everything it does in balance, and that means that it loses fat evenly from over the entirety of your body. Now, yeah, that doesn't mean that you don't have problem spots, because everybody has a genetic disposition as to where they hold more fat and where they don't. You're going to have some problem areas, and that's completely normal. Everyone has that. We all have different body shapes and body types, and that's normal. But the same rule applies, that you can't lose fat from a single area. Now, some people may have believed in the past that you can, because they see a big reduction in their problem areas, and that's simply because that problem area holds a higher amount of fat than, say, your face. But when we look at things in percentages, which is kind of what your body does, if you lose 10% of fat from an area that holds 10 grams of fat, you're going to lose 1 gram of fat from that area. Not going to be hugely noticeable. But if you lose 10 grams of fat from an area that has 100 grams of fat, you're going to lose 10 grams of fat, and that little chunk is going to be more noticeable from the larger portion. And that's why sometimes people can misunderstand and think that they are losing fat from one specific area. What does this mean to you? What it means is that you have to reduce your overall body fat level to get rid of your problem spots. Now, that may sound bad, because you think, oh, you know, I've tried the diets, I've tried this, it all doesn't work. I promise you, if your diet hasn't worked, your diet was wrong. Your diet was wrong for your training, your lifestyle. That's all it was. Nobody is immune from the results of a structured, progressive, monitored diet. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. If you're a normal, functioning human being, you are not immune from it. And even people who have those issues of thyroids and things like that, there's medication that cures that, which then makes them, again, not immune from the effects of nutrition. Nutrition is the single most powerful tool in your arsenal. You can literally sit on your ass and do nothing and improve your body composition by adjusting your diet to your lifestyle. In improving your trouble spots, you improve your entire body, your entire look. And that is not a bad thing. To do this, you must sort out nutrition. And there's a number of ways that you can do that. Number one, the non-macro food portion size way. So if you're not into tracking your food, if you're not down with counting your macros and having set targets, you're going to have to go off portion sizes. You're going to have to go off a controlled unit of measure, whether it be a cup or a serving spoon or whatever it is. Whatever you choose, that serving measure has to be the same every time that you serve a dish of food. Because no matter which way you go about this, consistency is your key. Consistency over everything. So, the reason for this is consistency means control, and control means results. If you know what you're taking in and you're able to adjust it in a relatively accurate way or a balanced way, then you have control, which in turn means you can stimulate or stop results as you see fit. So people who aren't following a structured diet and just eating and then thinking that by training and purging cardio they're going to achieve their goal, they're going to plateau out, they're going to have massive sticking points, they're going to have ups and downs, they're going to be inconsistent in the way they look. Whoa, 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 hell. Well, he said sorry, he flashed his hazards, but I mean, damn. If you choose to not be weighing your food and measuring it in a macro style, you're going to have to be more careful with your food selection. Simply because you're not logging and checking the full nutritional content of the food you're eating, you're going to have to be eating low impact foods. Now, what do I mean by low impact foods? Low impact foods are things like your whole food, like rice, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, chicken, to an extent red meat, but there's different forms of red meat. The low impact version of red meat would be an extra lean version. The non-extra lean versions carry a remarkable amount of fat that you may not be aware of. You can smash, in a good state, you can smash nearly a third of your daily fat allowance if you're not careful. So that's something to bear in mind. You're going to have to stay away from things that contain a high level of simple carbohydrates because they're going to be high impact. And by high impact I mean foods that have a high macronutrient value in a low portion size. So that would be, I mean, let's look at the worst one. It's not bad, but the worst one for portion control size is sugar. Sugar is pretty much purely carbohydrate. It is exactly what it is. Nothing else. No fat, just pure carbohydrate. Now, 1 gram of sugar is 1 gram nearly. I mean, I think it's something like 0.9 or something, but basically let's call a gram of sugar is a gram of carb. So you take 20 grams of sugar. Now picture 20 grams of sugar in your head. It's not a lot, is it? It's pretty much four teaspoons of sugar, which some people put in their tea, or a brew as you call them here. That's 20 grams of carbohydrate. That is the equivalent to 100 grams of sweet potato. Make sense? So you can see that sweet potato is much lower impact. You get a much larger volume for the same macronutrient level, and that's what I'm talking about. So you're going to have to stay clear of the high impact foods, the processed food, the simple stuff, because if you get a portion size wrong with that, you add an extra 10 grams of sugar to something by accident, you're adding an extra 10 grams of carbs. You add an extra 10 grams of sweet potato to something, you're adding an extra 2. So you see how your margin of error is massively reduced when you stay close to the whole foods, which again is why when people argue against macros and clean eating, people think clean eating is better because they seem to not go as wrong when they do that, and that's simply because there's less chance of going wrong. You'd have to eat a lot more to get the same error margin, whereas when macros are calculated accurately, you know, you're not going to go wrong because you're weighing everything. Everything's strict and in place and where it should be, which is why you get a better choice of food. And pretty much you can choose any food because you know exactly what's in it, you're logging it and you're removing it from your targets. You're not doing that with the simple form. So that's going to be your rule. You're going to have to stick to kind of your rice and your chicken and your veg, and you're going to also have to be careful with some fruits. I would recommend, if you're going to do it the non-macro way, if you want to add fruit to your diet, add it in a frozen variety, so get your frozen fruits. There's a double benefit to this. One, your carbohydrates per 100 are way lower, so you're looking at like around about an average of 5 grams per 100 of say a mixed berry frozen fruit portion. Because you look at 100 grams of banana, you're looking at 20 grams. So again, we're looking, you know, high and low impact, so there are different versions. So do a little bit of reading, just see what your low impact foods are, make a list of them, put them on your okay list, and utilize those. Yeah. There's something that saves me all the time. In my Right, I'll not start mine so you can hear these bad boys. I really hope you guys can hear them start up. I started that yesterday, and when I started it, it was inside me.
Well, from the election, we still don't know where we're going.
I felt that. I felt that start up. Jesus. Can't even hear my bike start. God. Oh, beautiful things. I don't understand people who are like, it's one or the other. Have fucking both. How would you not want to have a Sportster and one of those things? Look at it. Obviously, the benefit of having macros is that fact that you have the food choices and the ability. The main thing for me with counting your macros is the fact you get confidence in food. Because you're weighing your food all the time, you get very, very good at kind of judging just by look, portion sizes, weights, volumes, and everything like that. So in turn, if you ever stop doing and counting macros, you forever learn the value of portion sizes of specific foods and confidence in food. So for me personally, guys, I would highly recommend counting your macros. It's not that difficult. I know it sounds like a lot weighing your food, but instead of putting your plate down on the side or on a table, you just put it on a weighing scale before you serve the food. That's the only real difference. And you don't have to do it every single day, just most of the days, you know? And it's the confidence in food. I think the lack of education and lack of nutritional knowledge of food is what creates so many problems, and it creates bad relationships with food. The stupidity of people saying that IFWM leads to eating disorders is the single most retarded thing I have heard idiots say in my life. Counting your macros, number one, never has to include chocolate or processed foods, ever. And what it does do is tell you the exact nutritional content of everything you're eating, and it's something that you learn and never forget, and that in turn gives you ultimate confidence in your food choices, knowledge of food, and also makes you realize that you can eat different things outside of chicken and rice and it will still have a positive effect. That is the strongest relationship you can create with food that I'm aware of. And if anyone thinks differently, that it creates disorders, I'm sorry, but you're an absolute idiot, and you clearly don't count macros. Free yourself, go get some freaking weighing scales. Now, working out the macros, personally, Lean Master is going to give you kind of like the more accurate target ranges, but you can work it out off your overall body mass. And you'll still, you know, if you're not looking for stage or anything like that, that's going to work fine. It's going to be fine. Percentages, people always ask what percentages I use. I don't work off percentages, I work off much more specific values than that. But if you are going to use percentages, personally, for me, the 40-40-20 split of protein, carbohydrates and fat, for me, is the nicest balance. And that's the one I would recommend if you're going to do it. So that leads us on to the next part of the subject.